Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome to the video. I hope everybody's day is going great. Yesterday, Overwatch League was lit. LA Valiant, LA Gladiators, they put on a show for us. Dallas Fuel, San Francisco Shock, they definitely put a show on for us. AKM, he pretty much broke the record for the worst gameplay we've ever seen in the Overwatch League. Yeah, that sounded a bit toxic. Whatever, it's true though. We'll get into that. Lastly, Shanghai Dragon, Seoul Dynasty. But first, guys, Taimou called out XQC on Twitter. Honestly, firing absolute shots, saying XQC is a liar, pretty much wasn't part of the Dallas Fuel team and he didn't know what was going on. We'll get into that, guys. We'll get into that. So if you're new around here, guys, and you want that juice, do not forget to subscribe. I upload videos like this every single day. You'll never miss out. I'm also giving away 10 Overwatch League jerseys, so if you want to enter, click the gleam.io link down below. Like the video for the juice, guys, and let's go ahead and jump right into it. So starting off with this tweet from Taimou, he said this: Felix, I love you, dog, but stop spreading lies as truth on your stream like you know exactly what went down and what was going on. Out of the time you were in the team, you were in the practice facility for 30% of the time, if even that. Just stop at XQC. Damn, Taimou coming straight for XQC's head, calling him a liar, saying he's making things up. He wasn't even part of the Dallas Fuel team. You were hardly there. What the hell, dude? This is crazy. Honestly, this was one of the last things I expected to see. It seemed like XQC and Taimou were really good friends. He would always pop up to his house on his stream. They would have fun and stuff on Twitter together. But this is just savage. Something that XQC said must have triggered Taimou. I'm not sure what it is, but Taimou is lit right now. And he's telling XQC to keep his name and his team out of his mouth. Wow. Since then, this tweet has been deleted. Unfortunately, there has been no response from XQC yet. I wonder what exactly Taimou is calling XQC a liar for. It could be anything, it could be everything. The message he did send yesterday on Twitch that we covered in our video was very popular. It seemed like a lot of people saw it. So I think it might be safe to assume that that was one of the things he was talking about. Yeah, one of the things, because it seemed like he was also talking about multiple things. So we got some beef going down between Taimou and XQC. I absolutely cannot wait for that response from XQC. And let's go ahead and move on to the next topic, which is AKM, Dallas Fuel vs San Francisco Shock, Temple of Anubis. So on the Dallas Fuel's attack, AKM took a total of 3 minutes and 44 seconds to fully charge his Dragon Blade. Now let's get a little into the details here. Genji charges 5% of his Dragon Blade passively every 12 seconds. That means it charges 5% without him attacking anything. So in a total of 4 minutes, you can fully charge a Dragon Blade by just being AFK, not doing any damage at all. AKM charged it in 3 minutes and 44 seconds, only 16 seconds faster than that. Mathematically, AKM dealt less than 400 damage in 4 minutes on their attack against San Francisco Shock on Anubis. Put that into perspective, guys. Only 400 damage. Guys, that's 15 shurikens. Literally, if you land 15 shurikens, you do more than 400 damage. AKM landed less than 14 shurikens in 3 minutes and 45 seconds. And that's not even counting his deflect, his dashes. He could have dashed through 3 people at one point. If he would have landed more than 15 shurikens, he would have had his blade quicker than 3 minutes and 45 seconds. That's unreal. This has got to be the worst individual performance on any hero in the Overwatch League so far. And no, I'm not hating on AKM. I'm just looking at the facts. I had a bad performance in Contender Season 1. I know I did. I played like crap. AKM, he had a terrible performance yesterday. He played like crap. This is just how it works, guys. I mean, seriously, you gotta land more than 14 shurikens. That's crazy. That's not even counting headshots, guys. That's insane. His dash literally does 50 damage. Did he not land a dash on one person in 3 minutes and 45 seconds? Because for every dash he landed on somebody, that would take away 2 shurikens. So if he landed 2 dashes, that means all he would have had to have done was hit 10 shurikens to charge an ult faster than he did. It's just ridiculous. What are the Dallas Fuel going to do at this point? They literally just kicked Rascal from the team, who is probably one of the better Genjis in the entire league, let alone on the Dallas Fuel. Oh, by the way, why'd they kick him? I mean, it might be an assumption, but this is what I think. AKM, Rascal didn't get along whatsoever. For obvious reasons, AKM didn't like not starting. Rascal didn't like that the team wasn't trying hard. So Rascal got booted. AKM takes full-time starter position, and now he's forced to play Genji. And we all know he's not good at Genji. Remember him playing it like 3 weeks ago. He got absolutely flamed for it. Why on earth would they run him on it again? Taimou would have been better. Effect would have been better. For God's sakes, you have Seagull on your team. Put him on Genji. I know he hasn't played it in a long time, but he's got to be better than AKM at it. Seriously. But to be honest, Rascal was the only projectile player you had. At this point, I wouldn't have even considered Seagull being a projectile player for this team anymore. Sure, Seagull can play some Genji probably, but we haven't seen him play it in like forever. It's like it's ancient at this point. He hasn't really touched it in the league at all besides maybe like 20-30 minutes total. And that dates all the way back to stage 1. It seems like KINGmykL's still coaching these guys. Like, what the hell? Why did they come out and play AKM on Genji? Who thought it would be okay? There's no way in hell they played scrims and they did good with AKM on Genji. And they're just like, oh yeah, this is going to work. Let's do it. Because they got just destroyed by San Francisco. I don't even know. It's pitiful. I don't know where they go from here. I don't know where AKM goes from here. He's got to stay off the Genji. Overall, it wasn't even a good performance from him tonight. Probably one of his worst so far in the league. I mean, that goes for all of Dallas Field too. They got completely rolled. No wonder why everybody wants to leave this team. It's going straight down the hill. They had the most disgusting C9 I've ever seen today on Junkertown. They had every single ult in the game. They were about to win the team fight. Nobody touches the cart. You could see the disappointment on all of their faces. You can see Harry Hook and Taimou after they C9. They're like, oh man, we did it again. We screwed up. Then Unco's like, oh god, is this what it's like to be on Dallas Field? Jesus, get me out of here. Seagulls, whatever. It was the worst C9 ever. Dallas Field, man, these guys are a mess. We thought it was getting better. Every time you think it's getting better for the Dallas Field, it immediately just gets worse. Every time. That's why I have no faith in them. I'm never predicting them to win anything. I'm not. Like, that's it. Let's move on. Let's talk about the games from yesterday, starting off with the Los Angeles Valiant taking on the LA Gladiators. It's always fun when the LA teams go head-to-head, especially because of the crowd. One half of the crowd is going absolutely nuts for the Valiant, the other half is going absolutely nuts for the Gladiators. They're getting into it. It makes it so much more fun and exciting to watch when the crowd is like that. And of course, the match, it absolutely delivered. 194 kills to 194 kills. Deadlocked, guys. That's how close this match was. It didn't really start off close, though, because the LA Valiant, they got first held on Anubis. And the Gladiators came out of the gates looking pretty strong. And despite a really bad performance from the Valiant on this map, Agility still looked great individually. He was picking up a lot of Dragon Blade kills. And then we moved on to Nubani. And this is where it got really, really tight. Both teams really struggled attacking on the third point, and it went all the way down to the very last team fight. LA Valiant, they were the ones who were clutch on this map, tying up the series 1-1. Then we went on to Ilios, and this is where I wanted to talk a little bit about the roster from the LA Gladiators. I get that you might want to give Silk Threat some time, and I agree, he is a pretty good player. But considering Agilities was really hot in this set and playing very well, especially on Pharah, man, he dominated on control maps. I would probably want Hydration going head-to-head against him. I think Hydration has proved to be one of the better Pharahs in the league, and when it comes to those 1v1 Pharah duels, he thrives in those situations and usually comes out on top. So I would have liked to have seen him go head-to-head with Agilities rather than Silk Thread. I've been saying this for a few weeks now, and we definitely have seen more Hydration than Silk Thread, but he's still randomly getting thrown there on a couple control maps here and there. Now let's talk a little bit about Asher and Surefour. By the way, it's nice to see Asher back. I'm glad he's here and safe. Still not too sure why he had to go to Korea, but doesn't really matter, he's here. And now that he's back, he should probably be getting all the playtime on the Tracer role. I know Surefour had a pretty good run when he wasn't here, but overall, I think Asher is probably the better Tracer, especially when you want to combine him with Fisher. Ever since he joined the team, those two have been absolute beasts, pretty much taking out any backline in the league with ease. So I'd say they give a little less time to Surefour, give it fully back to Asher. Let Surefour play those maps where you need a Widowmaker, a Soldier, a McCree, because that's what he's really good at. Especially that Widowmaker. Surefour has been on fire lately. I've always thought the Gladiators had a weird combination of DPS players, not because they're bad or anything, but it did seem like for a little bit there, they were running them all randomly. Surefour was playing every single role, Hydration was playing multiple roles, Asher was playing multiple roles, and then they started slowing it down and putting players on specific heroes, and they got really good, so they should probably go back to that. It's just ever since they picked up Silk Thread, they've been running him a lot. And I feel like it's kind of thrown them off how they were playing before. Obviously, Asher having to go back to Korea doesn't help either. And they've still looked good, don't get me wrong. They just beat the Seoul Dynasty. Surefour played like a god in that set. But I do think overall, it's better for the long run if they do just stick to specific roles, rather than having all of their players flex so much. Huge match for Bishu. Shout out to him. Great game. He had the most final blows on his team total, sitting at 45 and 29 with the only person behind him, Surefour 35. Now, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the LA Valiant. I already mentioned Agilities. He had a great game, especially on Nubani and Oasis. He was an absolute beast. Comboed with Bunny today. They did so much work, especially in those clutch scenarios. Bunny killing absolutely everybody on 99-99 control rounds. Something to point out also, Soon probably just had his worst Overwatch League match so far. He went 1-12 on the Widowmaker. Yeah, 1-12. Well, Surefour went 12-3. So he definitely got the hands yesterday. Not the best performance of his career. His Tracer went 12-14. Typically, you'll never see Soon go negative, so definitely a shock for him. But it didn't really matter because Agilities and Bunny, they carried the weight yesterday. Agilities 24-11. As I was saying, his Pharaoh was insane. And overall, this was a completely different look from what we've seen from LA Valiant recently. When they signed Bunny, we saw a lot of Soon and Bunny in there. Soon was playing the Widowmaker, the hit scan, while Bunny would play Tracer, and they'd only put Agilities in there for like control map. And yesterday, Agilities actually played every single map. They ran a ton of projectile, and it worked out great for them. So it seems like they're very versatile, and it's going to be really hard to prep for them because you don't know if they're going to run hard hit scan or if they're going to run hard projectile against you. And we also seen a kind of different look from the LA Gladiators yesterday as well. When Hydration was in there, he wasn't really playing Genji or Pharah. There was a lot of Sombra play from him. Specifically on the last map, Oasis, where it seemed like it was working in some team fights. Overall, I don't think it worked that well. Every single EMP he threw out basically only hit one person. He was getting picked off early, not a lot of good hacks on the tanks, which is exactly what you need to do on Sombra. When you run it, you have to hack the Diva 24/7. The Winston, you gotta hack them. If they're allowed to freely move around and use their abilities, you're not doing your job. Now, I'm not saying this is mainly Hydration's fault or his teammates' fault. Who knows where the problem lied. But he was getting picked off earlier, like I said, and it didn't seem like he was having too much of an impact overall. It just didn't seem effective at all. I really would have liked to have seen on Oasis him go head-to-head with Agilities on the Pharah. Surprisingly, it was still very close. Multiple 99-99s, every single team fight went down to the wire. LA Gladiators were literally in the position to win this set 100%. Just when it came down to that very last team fight, Bunny was there, and the guy was just clutch every overtime fight. So there wasn't much they could do about Agilities and Bunny playing amazing games. It went 3-2 in favor of the LA Valiant. It was a really good set, super exciting to watch. Playoff match between the LA Gladiators and LA Valiant would be absolutely nuts. But yeah, that's it for this match, guys. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one, which was San Francisco taking on the Dallas Fuel. Okay, well, what do I say about this set? It was very weird. It started off really good for the San Francisco Shock. They got that first hold off. AKM was on the Genji. Yeah, that was weird. The second map was actually very close, Blizzard World. It went all the way down to the very last team fight. The third map, Nepal, somewhat close. Dallas Fuel got around. And then the other two were kind of in favor of the San Francisco Shock. Then the very last map, Junkertown, not really that close. The Dallas Fuel had a really bad C9. We talked about that. It was just a match overall where the Dallas Fuel looked like they were just 2 steps behind the San Francisco Shock. Not too far behind, but still they were behind. Clearly they had some issues with the rosters they were running. I mean, Effect was on Genji, he was on Pharah, he was on everything. AKM, he was on everything. He was playing Genji. Yes, Genji. Don't do that, AKM. Don't do that. Sombra, Widow, McCree, Soldier, so many heroes for him. These guys, they're going to miss Rascal. They really are going to miss Rascal, and that's just fact. They literally have players, AKM, Taimou, and Effect, who are all known for having niche picks. Effect plays Tracer, AKM plays Soldier, Taimou plays McCree, Widowmaker, and Roadhog. Like, that's it. They're not known to flex. So this team is going to be in a ton of trouble when it comes to flexing. Sure, Effect, he had one good play on Pharah. That's it. He's not going to be a consistent Pharah. And if he is, it's going to take him a while to get there. He's also not going to be a consistent Genji. Neither is AKM. Neither is Taimou. None of these guys can flex and play the heroes needed. AKM, I have no idea why he's playing Sombra. I haven't seen him do anything good on Sombra. Is Taimou coaching this team now? I have no idea. They're going downhill. I really don't know what to say about them. We saw Seagull in. He played over Mickey. But, I mean, it wasn't the magic we saw last time he played when they almost beat New York Excelsior. It was completely different this time. He had some decent Mei plays. I mean, he also trapped his team into a Mei wall and got 3 of them killed, but that wasn't really his fault. So I don't know. It was a mess on the Dallas Fuel side. I don't know what to say about them. Let's move on to the San Francisco Shock. Talk a little bit about them. They ran Architect, Sinatra, Dante. They looked great in this set. I was kind of worrying about them, wondering where Baby Bay was because they might have needed a hit scan in some of their matches, but this one they didn't need one. Architect was able to cover the Widowmaker good enough. Sinatra came in on some maps to play that Tracer. Overall, Dante, this guy's a god. In my opinion, Dante is one of the best Western DPS players right now, if not the best. In a meta that is dominated by Tracer and Sombra, there's no player better to have on your team than Dante. Literally, this guy's an animal. Super had a good match, probably one of his best so far in the league. To be fair, though, it was against the Dallas Fuel, and ugh. So yeah, I mean, there's not too much to say about this match. It's just really a lack of the Dallas Fuel being able to compete against the San Francisco Shock due to all these changes and drama they're probably going through. It was definitely interesting seeing them all flex on those heroes. I don't know what they're going to do moving forward, guys. I really don't. That's pretty much it for the set. Let's move on to the very last one. Shanghai Dragons taking on the Seoul Dynasty. And this one was pretty similar to the Dallas Fuel and San Francisco Shock match. It seemed like Seoul Dynasty was just 2 steps ahead of Shanghai. Not too much of a difference. Shanghai still put up a decent fight. Some maps were close here and there, but Seoul Dynasty was very obviously the best team on the field. 2CP wasn't really all that close. The second map, Blizzard ruled very close, went all the way down to the last team fight. Shanghai Dragons were definitely in position to win this map, but they weren't able to do it. Ilios, very exciting map. Went all the way down to the 3rd round, and I do think overall Shanghai's best mode is probably Control. It seems like in sets, if they win a map, it's usually Control. If they don't win a map, the only close one was Control. They're really good at like random chaos brawling, and it can throw some teams off guard sometimes, and I think that's definitely what happened to Seoul in this match. Then we went to Route 66, and again, somewhat close, not really, very similar to the Dallas Fuel set. It's always exciting for Shanghai when they're able to put up a good fight, because we all so badly want them to win one set. Just one, please. They look pretty decent with the roster they were running in this match. Addo, Fearless, Dia, Geguri, Freefill, and 5King. Maybe if you slide Sky in there instead of Freefill, they might be a bit better. But again, they have looked best with this roster, even though I still think Sky is better than Freefill. The synergy between 5King, Freefill, Dia, probably better than having Sky in there. As for Seoul Dynasty, they ran Guido in there instead of Jaehong. Kuki got a map. Zephyr got a couple maps. We saw Fleta, Munchkin, and Toby in there the whole time, though. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, they wanted to give Guido time. That's fine if you want to give Guido time against the Shanghai Dragons. Just don't do it when you go up against a London Spitfire, New York Excelsior, or another top team in the league. Because when you do that, it's very annoying, Seoul Dynasty. So please, let Guido play against Shanghai, Dallas Fuel, whatever. I don't care. Just don't put him in against the good teams, because you really ruin the sets when you do that. And that's basically it for this match and the day, guys. Thank you for watching. If you're new around here, don't forget to subscribe, enter the giveaway, like the video. And that's it for me, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.